Horns up and welcome to Headbanger's Kitchen Keto Q&A, my new series where I answer all your burning keto questions. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Sahil. I'm a heavy metal musician. And I'm the author of the recipe book Keto Life. So first of all, thank you my friends for watching Headbanger's Kitchen. Over the last few years, the channel has grown tremendously and I'm super grateful for all your support. But unfortunately, that leaves me with little time to answer everyone's comments on YouTube and to give you individual attention, especially when you've got questions about keto. And I've done my best to make videos about keto for beginners and like answering different questions, but people still have a lot of questions that they want answered. So I thought it would make sense to start a monthly series where I answer your questions. So if you want to leave a comment for the next video, if you want to leave a question for the next video, in the video description box just below this video is a link to a Google document where you can submit your question. Or you can just type it below in the comments and maybe somebody from the Headbanger's Kitchen community will answer it. Anyway, before we get started, I also want to put out a little disclaimer that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a personal trainer, I am but a metal musician who loves to cook keto food. And I've been on keto for about 3 to 4 years myself. So anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's answer those questions. Alright, so let's get to the first set of questions. And Gautam Nair, Gopal Krishna, Nikki and Mubashira have asked me things like, what are the dry fruits and nuts I can eat? Can I eat chickpeas? Can I drink water with lime and salt? Can I use Slimfast? Can I have a little bit of watermelon? And can I cook in sunflower oil? Now, I've already made a video about all the foods you can and cannot eat on keto, and just click here on the I button and watch that video because that video has all the information you need. However, there are two things in these questions I want to talk about. One is Slimfast. Now, I don't really know what Slimfast is, so I did a quick search and they seem to be a brand that does keto products like shakes and cookies and things like that. Now, inherently there is nothing wrong with consuming them because they do, if they fit your macros, that's completely fine. But I personally would just not include these kind of products in my diet. I just feel that that was the problem before getting on keto, was that we were eating too many packaged foods and things in bottles and not enough real food. That's just because what my idea of a good diet is includes a lot of real foods, not things that are in a bottle or a packet and that are meant to have a long shelf life, like sit on that supermarket shelf for a year and just be fresh. So that's my take on it personally. I wouldn't include it in my diet, but if it fits your macros, it seems that it will do the job. Now the other question, which was about sunflower oil. No, you cannot use sunflower oil on keto, and there is a reason for that. And taking that little nugget of information, I'm going to go into the next question, which comes from Mitali. And she asks if you can use mustard oil for cooking because it has 0 carbs in it. So let me explain. Both sunflower oil and mustard oil have 0 carbs. In fact, all fats, canola oil, corn oil, all of these have 0 carbs. So technically, you can use them and remain in ketosis and hit your fat macros for the day and things like that. But you don't want to consume them. Why? Because they are hydrogenated vegetable oils and they don't have the good fats that we need. That is why sunflower oil is a no-no. Now, when it comes to mustard oil, from whatever I could find out online, mustard oil seems to be okay. It is not a hydrogenated vegetable oil, so it, in my books, is a safe oil to use. I got to keep all these little slip-ups in, keep it all natural, but mustard oil, I would just say use it in moderation, perhaps, to be safe. If any of you who have studied mustard oil in depth and have a point of view, definitely leave it below. I do like the flavor of mustard oil. It definitely enhances a lot of dishes. So I do use it from time to time, but it's not my go-to cooking fat. In fact, I'm sure people are going to want to know what I used to cook. So for me, avocado oil is my new favorite cooking oil. Olive oil, as always. Bacon fat. Can never have enough of bacon fat. And if I can find beef or chicken or even duck fat or even goose fat, all of that I love cooking with. In fact, I think cooking with animal fats is like my favorite because it adds so much flavor to the food. Alright, so the next question comes from Vani, who says, I am unable to find heavy cream in India. Is it okay if I use Amul cream as a substitute? Yes, it is absolutely fine to use Amul cream. I, living in India as well, do use Amul cream most of the time. However, you do get heavy whipping cream in India. You get Amul themselves makes a heavy whipping cream. At least in Bombay, there is Parsi Dairy, and there are a couple of other imported brands that you can find in some of the supermarkets. Now, the reason I don't say Amul cream when I'm making my videos is because cream is different across the world. In America, they say heavy whipping cream. In the UK, there is single cream, double cream. In Australia, it's something else. So when I say heavy whipping cream, that is sort of more easily understood. Now, Amul cream is technically the same thing, except that instead of having 30 or 35% of fat, it has 25% of fat. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. There's another brand in India called Delecta also, which is the same, which I use as well. So yeah, I mean, basically you want to look for cream which has a high fat percentage. So obviously, depending on where you live in the world, find the highest percentage possible. That may be 15%, that may be 45%. It's all good. The next question comes from Noah Lavandula. Is that your real name? That's a cool name if it is. And he or she has like 3 different questions. The first one being, can I do 1 meal a day while being on keto? I want to reduce weight quickly, but I still get hungry after 1 meal. Right. So here's my take. I don't like 1 meal a day. I know there are many people watching my show who do 1 meal a day and it works for them, but it never worked for me. It just didn't suit my lifestyle. So you can do 1 meal a day on keto if you want, but if you're feeling hungry, maybe you want to consider doing 2 meals a day. Also, this whole thing about losing weight quickly has to stop, guys. Weight loss is a journey, not a destination. And I've actually done a video talking about this. I would love if you click here on the I button and watch that video, because my suggestion is change your mindset to weight loss. Don't look at it as a sprint. Rather, look at it as a marathon that you've got to run for the rest of your life. So hopefully that answers your first question. Alright, so your second question is, what would be a good substitute for cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower and cabbage, as they are not good for those with thyroid problems? Doctors say they are to be avoided. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not a doctor, so ask your doctor what are the alternative vegetables. You definitely can't eat things like potatoes and yams on keto, but there is a plethora of other vegetables you can choose from. And your third and final question was, what would be the best sweetener? I want to choose only one for making desserts. In that case, I would say stick with erythritol. That seems to be the most commonly used one. My next question is from Himanshu Awasare, who says, your keto recipes are damn good, but I suggest you make videos on keto recipes with daily life kitchen ingredients of a middle class family. I mean something to do on budget. Also suggest fruits for keto. Right, let's talk about fruits first. Again, I've already done a video on what you can and cannot eat, but to very quickly sum it up, berries. That's it. As for your suggestion, thank you. I have noted it and I've put it in my suggestion box. But when you say middle class family, who are you referring to? Middle class America, UK, Europe, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Switzerland, Hong Kong, where? Because I have viewers from all over the world. So I try and keep my recipes as neutral as possible so that people all over the world can follow it. If you're looking specifically for Indian middle class, I don't know, maybe if you tell me a specific number for your budget, I can help you a little bit, in a different way, maybe in the next video if you have a more specific question. But yeah, I'd like to think most of my recipes are for the middle class anyway, considering that I guess I would fall into that bracket as well. So yeah. And the final question comes from Sagar, who says, have you ever tried a keto or a low carb version of chicken lollipop? If so, how did it turn out, and can you make a recipe video for it? So I can't actually remember if I have tried making it or not, but I've done plenty of fried chicken recipes. So you could possibly adapt any of those to make a chicken lollipop, but I will definitely add this to my list of recipes that I do want to make in the future. Alright folks, so that's all the questions I got for this month's episode. Like I said earlier, in the video description box there is a link to a Google form. Submit your questions if you have any, or leave them in the comments below, and in next month's episode I will answer them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button and do subscribe to Headbanger's Kitchen for awesome keto recipes, and do hit the bell icon so you get notifications. Anyway, that's enough jibber jabber from me. I'll see you on the next episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. Cheers and keep cooking.